Hello, moms. It's Althea, your feng shui coach, back with you today, talking about the wood element and how imbalances can show up in the body as it relates to wood chi. And this is coming from that Eastern perspective, that Shiatsu perspective that I learned, which also goes really well hand in hand with feng shui. So let me just go back and mention some of the strengths of wood personality and wood chi, which are being bold, ambitious, competitive, decisive, powerful, independent, um, and along with that drive to always be moving forward in life, sometimes impatience arises. If you think of that blade of grass, poking through the soil to rise up and all the energy that it takes, that is the essence of wood chi, and wood chi does not like to be blocked. I'm having my own experience with that today. uh, Maintenance is working on electrical outlets in all the apartments in my building, and that makes running a business from home very difficult. And there have been so many interruptions, so many videos I've started and had to stop because I had to answer the door or answer a question or help in some way. So I can feel that healthy irritability, rising up with me, which is a reminder for my wood chi to it's testing my ability to be patient and flexible and resourceful. So I've had to navigate that and find ways to do so. You know, and one thing I'm also reminding myself is that it's good to have updated electricity, and this is just happening for one day in my entire life. It's not my whole life. So, okay. So back to the wood. So the emotion associated with wood is anger, and that makes sense, right? We get angry and frustrated when we feel stuck, especially when things happen that are outside of our control. And so the sound associated with wood is shouting. The sense organ is actually the eyes. So if you think about an imbalance can show up in wood when there's red or itchiness in the eyes, and think about wood, it's associated with the season of spring. So a lot of people have allergies during spring, which can be a sign of a wood imbalance. Okay. It's also associated with the nails and the muscles and sinews. So people with very strong wood chi often have very strong muscular type bodies. They can be very slender and sinewy and have very strong tendons and muscles. So those are some of the qualities of wood chi. Now I want to talk about how the imbalances, a little more about how the imbalances can show up. So the wood element, the meridians associated with the wood element are the liver and the gallbladder. And the liver runs from kind of like right under the rib cage all the way down inside the legs, all the way to the big toe. So really it's like that inside the sides of the body. And the liver is considered the master planner. It involves smooth flow of chi, and it also stores the blood. So when women experience imbalance, they might experience irregularities in the menstrual cycle. So, you could have strong signs of PMS or heavy bleeding or very light bleeding. And it has to do with also the volume of blood that's created from activity. So it's your body's ability to increase the blood flow, when you are being very active. And so when there is an imbalance, A person might feel easily fatigued by too much activity, and they also might feel a lot of stiffness, especially along the sides of the body, because that's where the meridian runs. So there might be a lot of tension in the hips and the glutes. Um, Also, temporal headaches. And it can also, on an emotional level, involve kind of a loss of direction in one's life. And I've mentioned that, in the previous post about wood people as it relates to clutter. And, it shows in signs of imbalances when you feel like you just are having difficulty knowing how to move forward in your path. Okay, and so I'll move on now to the second meridian, which is the gallbladder, which plays the role of holding the body in from the sides. It also has to do with being a decision maker. So if you're feeling out of balance in the gallbladder, you might find that you are indecisive or kind of like nervous, jittery. Think about somebody who's just constantly drinking coffee, right? Like they're constantly trying to move forward and go, 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 but the increase in the coffee is actually causing that like real anxious, jittery energy, which actually makes it difficult to make decisions when you're overloaded with caffeine. So it also, as I mentioned, has to do with holding the body in. So, a lot of times when there is an imbalance in the gallbladder, a person might feel tension along the sides of the body, like, the torso, and like pathway pain can be pain on the sides of the body. Stiff neck, stiff shoulders, again, temporal headaches. So the gallbladder meridian actually runs from the corners of the eyes all the way behind the ear. It goes back up to the temporal part of the head, down to the neck, and then along the entire side of the body, down to the leg, all the way down to your fourth toe. So that's the path of the gallbladder meridian. And it also relates to the ability to excrete bile, right? To excrete fat. So sometimes people who have an imbalance in the gallbladder, they tend to have diets that are heavy in fat, and they have trouble digesting that fat. So one suggestion that I would make is to consider, colon hydrotherapy to get a nice deep colon cleanse is a really great way to detox the gallbladder and the liver. You can also drink dandelion root tea, which really supports the liver. So those are just kind of simple, mundane things that you can do. And then if you want to kind of open up the body, I'll show you like a little stretch you can do. So for the liver, you would just spread your legs out wide and then lift your arms up and then move your body forward as far as you feel comfortable, like that nice balance between feeling a good stretch but not feeling pain, right? We don't want to have to feel pain. So that's really opening up this liver channel, especially if you're feeling tension or stagnation, right? And then you can go from here to open up the gallbladder area. You just bring your arm up and out and over to the side, and that's stretching this whole meridian right here. So that's going to really help to open up the sides of your body. Then you can also just sit on your knees and to stretch out that whole side neck area. We all know how to do a little good neck stretch. You can actually put your hand behind your back and then tilt your neck down to one side, and gently you can even rotate your neck very gently to open up this whole channel, and then you would do the same thing on the other side. So those are great little, little things that you can do to just open up the flow of chi and wood. And especially if you're feeling that frustration, that stagnation, these are all little things that you can try out. So yeah, thank you for watching this post, and let me know how you're experiencing wood chi on a physical level. Do you experience any of these symptoms, or are you feeling like you have a pretty balanced wood chi? And feel free to let me know in the comments below, or share this with someone who you feel like might find it helpful, or just like this post. Anyways, thank you all, and have a beautiful day.